For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for the first edition of the Shane Brown Show here in 2023-2024 as the Wheeling University wrestling team returns this week. Currently joined by Wheeling University head wrestling coach Shane Brown. And Shane, first of all, you got two events this week, a dual meet at home on Wednesday and then a tournament on Saturday. Talk about what it's going to be like just to be back on the mat and competing.
Oh, it's going to be great. You know, the guys are excited. We have a young team. We have a lot more wrestlers coming in, so we're happy to bring the duels back, which is nice. We're kind of getting back into the groove of that. But I'm excited to see how everybody does. You know, we got to have a really good preseason, and, the team's looking pretty sharp.
And you mentioned a lot of new wrestlers coming in, a lot of transfers. You got a roster that's almost double what you had last year. Talk about what that's been like, kind of managing all the new guys with your returners with this team.
It's been good. It's been a lot easier to manage, I could say that. They're all mending well. You know, they all get along very well. They work hard. I think it's definitely brought a totally different environment into our room, and it's definitely changed our, outlook on everything. We're definitely more aggressive and ready to go and pushing ourselves in a whole different way.
And looking at this year's team, we're going to see some of the same guys who had a lot of success last year: Caden Canning, Zach Kuneff, Mason Kuneff. Talk about these returners and kind of how they're leading the way in this push.
Yeah, they came in and definitely took off on a big leadership role. All of them have, and that's fantastic to definitely set the tone for the younger guys. They come in, they see the upperclassmen, and they've been maturing in ways that, I didn't imagine that they would this quick. So to see them grow and be able to have a whole different atmosphere in the room is fantastic.
And then looking at some of these new faces that we've seen come in, a nice mix of transfers and freshmen that you have brought in. Talk about some of these new guys and maybe who's been standing out in preseason and who looks to make an impact this year.
Yeah, well, the transfers, obviously, they're older. They're more mature. We have Zach LaRue, who is coming in. He's going to have 1 to 2 years. He's looking fantastic. He's got great experience on the mat. Definitely looking forward to seeing him wrestle. We've got Austin Heinzman. He's a transfer. He's an All-American in JUCO. Did fantastic. We're excited to see him get on the mat hopefully next semester, depending on a couple things, how they play out. So a lot of that, older experience definitely helps in the room as well, but, it'll definitely shine on the mat.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head wrestling coach Shane Brown. And Shane, you mentioned the return of the dual meets this season, starting with your first event on Wednesday against Frostburg State. Talk about bringing those back and kind of bringing wrestling back to the Alma Grace McDonough Center and what that means to you guys.
Yeah, it means a lot. It's very exciting. Last year being tournament only, I think it was a little bit of a letdown. It's not, what you see in a season, but for me, I had to do it for my guys. It was just what was best for the program and for their, morale. But I think it's going to bring a whole different atmosphere, trying to rebuild the the tradition that's here. I really want to capitalize on that, bring alumni back, get them involved, and just definitely bring it back to that home feeling.
And talk about jumping right into Mountain East Conference play with Frostburg State in this opener. Talk about this conference and kind of some of the challenges you guys face and as you're preparing for the MEC championships next semester.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, the MEC is very tough. It's a very tough conference. I think one of the toughest in the country, hands down. So there's a lot of experience, a lot of really good teams, and I think that with Frostburg coming in, they're facing some of the same challenges. They just started their program this year, so they have a young team. They have a couple transfers in from what I've seen. It'll be good. It'll be good to see how we match up because we're in the same scenario for the most part. So it'll be two young teams, kind of getting into it and definitely lead the path for the rest of the season.
And finally, talk about some of your keys for this first matchup against Frostburg State and what you're looking for from your guys.
Yeah, I mean, as far as it goes, if we win, we win. We lose, we lose. I'm not too worried about that. What I really want is to focus on each match individually. Definitely see where we can grow, see what we've done, the technique and everything that will shine through on this match, and try to see where we can get better. So that's the key points that I want to focus on.
Thanks, Shane. Good luck this week. Can't wait to see you out there.
Thank you.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.